two of my absolutely favorite channels on YouTube, Southern Prepper 1 on the right and the Patriot Nurse on the left, over the last 3 days have put up videos that when you take the information and couple it together, it will lead the thinking person to realize something that might change their life forever. That we have been, well, to put it mildly, hornswoggled. We have been deceived in a way that a lot of people haven't realized. If you guys have seen the videos and you're a thinking person, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you're still being led around by your emotions, you might not see it, but you will eventually. Now, we're going to cover this in today's video. Trust me, this is going to blow your mind. I've been watching both of these channels for many, many years, and I think they actually know each other, these two individuals. But I'm not sure about that, but the information is key here. We're going to get right to it. A lot of people have left my channel and think that I'm crazy because I'm not a diehard mammon worshiper, or otherwise known as a capitalist. Everybody out there thinks that the AOC Bernie Sanders version of socialism is the only kind that exists. There was a thing for many, many years, hundreds of years, in fact, called Christian socialism. And when you look back at the NSDAP, and you can look this up for yourself, NSDAP program from the 1940s, you'll start to see some things that most conservative Americans would agree with. But real quick, as always, God bless. Thank you, all of you who joined us over here at the Patreon channel. Very, very much appreciate it. There are people out there who have stood in the breach and have kept the Florida Maquis going, and I have no words to express how grateful I am for you. That I can still do videos is just because of you. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you'd like to join us over there, I'll warn you, the videos are kind of the way they used to be on YouTube, where you could just let loose and you could say what you wanted to without any fear of censorship. But now we can't live like that anymore, because truly the censorship is coming from capitalists. Wait, Florida Maquis, what are you saying? Well, the censorship is coming from people who don't want to offend the advertisers. That's really the driving force. They don't want to offend people, and brands like Bud Light or whatever. They don't want to get canceled by being associated with people who say things that are controversial. That's the root of the censorship, not somebody's feelings. But if the Patreon channel isn't for you, you got 90 days. 90 days. The links are down in the description box, and you can get a full and complete refund. No questions asked. But let's get right to it. Capitalism is the extraordinary belief that the nastiest of men, greediest of men, for the nastiest of motives, will somehow work together and everyone will benefit. John Maynard Keynes. But Florida Maquis, what did they say? What was in the videos? Here we go. Sit down. This is going to blow your mind. Patriot Nurse yesterday put up a video relating a story where she talked to a bank teller. And this bank teller had kind of a bad experience with someone who came in and was impolite to her. And it had to do with the fact that a lot of people are struggling financially. The bank teller, who had worked there for a long time, had said she had never seen such a short period of time where so many people lost so much in their accounts and are barely getting by. But here's the point you have to pay attention to. Patriot Nurse also said that this particular bank teller related to her that there are some people who are cleaning up, who are making buku bucks. So both things can exist at the same time. Meaning, and the Patriot Nurse relates that, our money system is controlled by the Fed, and so the government picks winners and losers financially. Now, that probably doesn't shock a lot of people, does it? Of course not. Now, when you couple it with what Southern Prepper 1 said, he's been doing this thing called Boots on the Ground, where over the last almost a year now, at least, people have been riding into him and giving them their anecdotal stories about what's going wrong financially in their area and region all across the country. But you watch the news and everybody's saying, oh, the economy's great and the economy's fine and this is this and this is that. When you put the two together, what you get is a government that can pick winners and losers, financially, and then can control the media and make you believe, like, for example, that we're winning the war in Iran when Southern Prepper 1 related a story where we're not. He knows people in the military. He himself was a logistics guy in the military. And they're saying, we have no place to go to even begin to try to fight back. They're winning. So they can use the media to lie to you, make you believe things that aren't true, and control the money, and pick winners and losers. Now, Florida Maquis, what does this have to do with anything? If they can do that in the United States, a country of 370, 380 million people, is it possible that they could have done it 10 or 12 years ago in a little tiny country called Venezuela? That they could have gone in there based on the giant oil reserves and wanting to secure those, cooked up, ginned up a story about make-believe, evil, terrible, horrible socialism, and caused massive financial grief, massive financial heartache, like they are right now to people in America, and then blamed it on socialism so that they could then go in, depose the leader, take the oil, and enrich themselves. Do you think that's possible? They could have done that in that tiny country of Venezuela when they're doing all of that right now here in America and controlling the media to make you believe you see, they had a problem. Their story about socialism wasn't flying back in 12 and 13. That's why they failed over and over and over again. So they had to cook up a story about starving people. That didn't work. So then they finally had to cook up a story about fentanyl and drug dealing to finally get enough people who would be okay with the government going in and deposing this guy, kidnapping these elderly people, Nicolas Maduro and his wife, because of all of the drug boats. They shot up a bunch of drug boats. And then all of a sudden, all the drug boats, all of that, they're still coming, but we're just not shooting at them anymore. That whole story went away, and now it's about the oil. Now it's about the oil. That's all you hear about now. In the oil tankers. In the Straits of Hormuz. Could it be that perhaps the country that's 38 going on 40 trillion in debt, with 42 million people on food stamps and soon to be very, very a lot more, 18 million people starving in the U.S., a government irredeemably corrupt, half of our population is clinically obese, the worst of our society control the media. We somehow have ginned up 37 different genders, but Venezuela banned pornography, banned usury, banned abortion, banned gay marriage, banned the trans. Do you think maybe that might have had something to do with it? Do you think maybe you might have been schnookered? You might have been hornswoggled? You see, you'd have to be able to put these two things together. Southern Prepper 1 saying, the government is lying to you. We are not doing well in Iran. In fact, things are going horribly in Iran. And the information that he's getting, not just from his local neighbors, he gets information, Southern Prepper 1, the guy on the right, through his boots on the ground videos from all over the country. Thousands and thousands of people have written into him and given him detailed information. And the information he's getting is exactly the opposite of what the news is reporting. And then over on the left, Patriot Nurse, talking to a bank teller, proves that there are people who are doing great and people who are almost broke. Meaning that this is a very controlled thing. Winners and losers are being picked. This is exactly what happened in Venezuela. Remember, they tried to gin up random guy named Juan until they found out random guy named Juan was seen pictured with a couple of pretty heavy-duty drug dealers. They had to get rid of him because of that and his contacts. And those of you who are wondering about socialism and how, but socialism this, socialism that, here's socialism in America. In 1918, 5 pounds of sugar cost $1.34. That was a hell of a lot of money back then. By 1945, the Office of Price Administration, meaning socialism, took control of things and instituted price ceilings so that by 1945, 27 years later, 5 pounds of sugar, a loaf of bread, 6 oranges, 2 quarts of milk, oatmeal and coffee cost the same as just the sugar. These are from America. These are from America back in during the war, World War II. You see, they said stamp out black markets. Today, there'd be people like, they don't want any free markets. They don't want any free markets. There were people cleaning up, cleaning up, working under the table, depriving people of things. The Patriots were the one that said that they put up their right hand, said, I pay no more than top government-assigned legal prices. I accept no rationed goods without giving up ration stamps. Here's another one from the late 19th century. Low wages, high rent. I know it's kind of hard to see these words right here. It says capitalism, monopoly, wage slavery. I'm trying to read this other one. I even can't read it myself with my big screen. You see, we have monopolies today that control prices. How many of you have seen this thing now where they can change prices based on who's looking at what online? Meaning the same thing that you're looking at that may cost $20, they're showing to a neighbor because maybe your neighbor's a minority or a put upon historically oppressed people, and they get it for $14.50. The exact same thing, delivered to literally the exact same zip code. They're going to do this now. They're going to make things more expensive for people they believe deserve to pay more. And the government's going to control that. Blast from the past. How many of you remember Abby Martin? From a long, long time ago. From RT. Pardon me. She has an absolutely brutal takedown of Kamala Harris, the thing with Biden. See, she's from a completely different angle on this. This two-party system we have is going away, and make no mistake, folks. I know a lot of people in my audience are probably looking at this picture and laughing, but right now there is a massive group of people in this country that have lost hope. They are working 2 jobs, not saving a dime, don't think they're ever going to have a home, don't think they're ever going to have their own backyard, raise a family, be able to retire. And if things keep going the way they're going, that's going to be absolutely the case. And things are going to get worse and going to get worse. And there's only going to be one group of people that are going to come out and say, hey, we have a different plan. We have a different direction. It's going to be AOC and it's going to be Bernie or some analog thereof. And laugh all you want. But we'll say this here at the end, and I know it's going to offend some people, but I'm just going to read the quote. We are socialists. We are enemies of today's capitalistic economic system for the exploitation of the economically weak with its unfair salaries, with its unseemly evaluation of a human being according to wealth and property instead of responsibility and performance. And we are all determined to destroy this system under all conditions. How many of you have read the scripture in the Bible that you can either serve mammon or you can serve God, but not both? No man can have 2 masters. So take a choice. Serve mammon, be a capitalist, or other. And that's what this is all about. The current government in the United States is by far and away the most evil, tyrannical government that has ever existed in history, including the Romans, including Pol Pot, including Japanese dictators. I mean, pick any of them. The amount of power, the amount of control, the amount of greed and corruption outstrips any from history. And it's all going to come to a head very soon. So I just wanted to put this out there. It is a really bad time to be somebody who wants to try to sing the praises of capitalism, because it is putting people out of their homes. It is putting people on the street, living under bridges, living in wooded areas, destroying the very basic and fabric of society. And there's only one fix for it. We only had one fix for it back in the Depression. Look up the Tennessee Valley Authority if you don't believe me. They gave guys jobs planting trees in forests. Let me say that again. They gave people jobs planting trees and paid them to do it. It was social engineering. But it saved Appalachia. And that's actually where I believe Southern Prepper 1 lives in South Carolina, but I'm pretty sure Patriot Nurse is in Knoxville. So, and that's Appalachia. And she's talking about how poor and how destitute people are and how many homeless people there are and how it's got nothing more. She's been talking about this for last year. So, I will leave that there. I mean, I know they probably both would call themselves capitalists, but, I mean, no disrespect, but people have been hornswoggled. People have been fooled. Big time. Especially talking about Venezuela. Join us, Patreon. Love to have you. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.